Deep in the mountains of northern Japan, there's a story whispered among locals, a legend that chills the air every autumn. They call it the Night of the Vanishing Village. It's a phenomenon that defies all logic. For one night only, an entire village appears from thin air. This isn't a place you'll find on any map or see with a satellite. It's a ghost, a memory that flickers into existence and then disappears with the morning sun. The tale is ancient, stretching back hundreds of years to when weary travelers first spoke of it. Imagine walking through a dense, unfamiliar forest, when suddenly a thick, disorienting fog rolls in, swallowing the world around you. You can't see your hand in front of your face, but then, just as quickly as it came, the fog parts. You're no longer in the woods. You're standing at the entrance of a peaceful, welcoming village, illuminated by the soft, warm glow of countless paper lanterns. The villagers, according to these old stories, were kind but eerily quiet. They'd offer you a hot meal, a warm place to sleep, and shelter from the cold mountain air. They moved with a gentle grace, their faces calm and serene. You'd feel an overwhelming sense of peace, as if you'd stumbled into a forgotten paradise. But that peace would be shattered by the morning light. The travelers would awaken not in a cozy bed, but on the cold, damp forest floor, with pine needles in their hair, and the village nowhere in sight. It was as if it had all been a dream. For centuries it remained just that, a folk tale, a spooky story to tell around a campfire. But then, the reports started coming in again. Modern-day hikers, drivers who'd taken a wrong turn, even police officers on patrol, all described the same impossible experience. A village with no name, no roads leading in or out, just a place that shouldn't exist, appearing and disappearing in the mist. But there was a new, unsettling detail. Many of these witnesses claimed the faces of the villagers seemed strangely familiar, like people they had seen before in old family photographs. This is where our story takes a darker turn. In 1987, an amateur photographer named Kenji Takahashi became obsessed with this legend. He wasn't content with just hearing the stories. He wanted proof. He wanted to capture the vanishing village on film. For 3 years, Kenji dedicated his life to this quest. He pored over dusty historical records, studied obscure local legends, and meticulously tracked every report of strange lights sighted in the mountains. He was determined to find the truth. On the night of October 15th, 1990, Kenji Takahashi disappeared. His car was later found parked at the base of Mount Osore, one of Japan's most sacred and mysterious mountains. The doors were unlocked, his wallet and keys on the seat. His camera was there too. The police developed the film, hoping for a clue, and what they found was terrifying. The final photo on the roll was a blurry, haunting image. Through a thick curtain of fog, you can just make out the shape of an old Japanese gate, a torii, and faintly, glowing behind it, was the unmistakable outline of an entire village, lit by those same paper lanterns from the legends. An extensive search was launched. Teams combed the mountains for months, but Kenji was never seen again. He had vanished, just like the village he was searching for. And ever since that day, on October 15th every year, people living near the mountain report the same phenomena. Flickering lights dancing in the fog, and some even swear they can hear the faint, ghostly sound of music, old festival drums and flutes, drifting down from the empty slopes. It's as if the village is still celebrating, and perhaps Kenji is celebrating with them. The mystery only deepened in 2003, when a team of university researchers decided to investigate the site using modern scientific equipment. They hoped technology could explain what legend could not. As they approached the area where Kenji's car was found, their instruments went haywire. They recorded bizarre, intense electromagnetic fields, powerful enough to suggest that the very fabric of space and time was being warped or bent in that location. One of the lead researchers later described an incredibly strange sensation, like he was walking through water, a thick, invisible resistance pushing against him. At that exact moment, his compass began spinning wildly, no longer pointing north, and then everything went dead. The power in their cameras, their GPS units, their flashlights, all of it failed simultaneously. The group stood in the sudden, unnerving silence and darkness, but they weren't alone for long. Through the dense mist ahead, a soft, ethereal light began to glow. Terrified, the team fled. They ran without looking back, scrambling down the mountainside, all except one, a young assistant, driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, risked a final glance over his shoulder. What he saw would haunt him forever. He saw the village. He described children running through the streets, laughing and carrying paper lanterns. He saw old women sitting on porches, smiling gently. He saw men dressed in traditional festival robes, gathering in the central plaza. It was alive, but their faces were pale, translucent, almost transparent. They were there, but not entirely. So what is the Vanishing Village? No one knows for sure, but the theories are as fascinating as the legend itself. Some believe it's a window into a parallel dimension, a place trapped in a time loop, forever reliving the same festival night over and over again. Others offer a more tragic explanation. They say it's a memory, imprinted on the landscape, a village that was tragically wiped out by a massive landslide centuries ago, its spirit returning once a year to relive its final, joyful celebration before disaster struck. The village isn't just vanishing, it's reliving. But perhaps the most chilling part of this entire legend, the detail that sends a shiver down your spine, is something every single person who claims to have seen the village agrees on. They all say that somewhere in that spectral crowd, among the smiling, transparent faces, they recognize someone, a grandparent who passed away years ago, a friend who went missing, a lost family member. Some even claim, in a terrified whisper, that they saw themselves, an echo of a life they could have lived, or perhaps a life they are destined to join. So, if you ever find yourself wandering a remote mountain path in northern Japan on a foggy autumn night, and you see a faint light flickering in the distance, be careful. If you hear the distant, rhythmic beat of a festival drum, listen closely. It might be the wind, or it might be an invitation, but whatever you do, think twice before you follow it. Because if you find the Vanishing Village, you might find what you're looking for, but you might never find your way back. Thanks so much for watching and joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoy exploring strange legends and mysterious places, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure. Stay curious and stay safe out there.